We're going to walk you through the steps of installing the new Easy module in the 2025 and newer Cummins application. So this is releasing for 2025 and 2026 currently. Supports the 2500 and 3500. So this is the brand new Cummins engine with the ZF 8-speed application. So just like the legacy EZ that we were offering for VP44 trucks 20 years ago, this product installs extremely easy, hence the name of the product, the Easy module. We are making two connections under the hood. So we're going to tap into our fuel rail pressure sensor that is located right here on the front of the fuel rail on the driver's side of the engine. And then there is a data link connector directly below your power steering fluid reservoir. It'll have a rubber dummy cap in that connector. You take the rubber cap out, plug the Easy module harness into it, and then we're making a 12-volt connection right here at the battery. So those three connections will give us everything we need to control the Easy module through a Bluetooth smartphone app, so we can turn power levels up and down from the app, as much as 110 horsepower over stock in level 5 driver's seat. So let's go through the install. It'll only take 5, maybe 10 minutes. First, we're going to start by disconnecting our batteries on both sides so we don't have any voltage in the system when we're disconnecting all those connectors. As I said, this install is super easy, and we're only going to use one tool for this whole install. We need a 10mm socket on a ratchet. We're going to disconnect this passenger side battery cable, and then we're going to come over and do the same on the driver's side. This will make sure that we don't get any codes in the system when we're disconnecting those connectors. All right, so batteries are disconnected. Now we can move on. So we've zoomed in on our fuel rail pressure sensor. Cummins was nice and reoriented that fuel rail so the sensor's on the front instead of the back on the previous model years. To get that sensor disconnected, you can see the yellow keeper that's on the top of that connector. You have to pull that keeper out with maybe a pick tool or your fingernail, and then you can depress the tab on that connector to get it disconnect. We're going to reach down in there, pull that tab back, and then press down on the center of it with our thumb, and that connector will come undone just like that. So now we're going to grab our new harness that came in the package. You can see there's not a whole lot to this connector or this harness. Super simple here. One thing we will show you in the video, we've taken out the bolts on this engine cover. Remove this oil dipstick tube, and we're going to move this cover out of the way. That's not required for this install, but it does give us a little better view of that sensor down here. You can do this with that engine cover installed, but for the sake of the video, getting some lighting, we're going to take one end of our harness, plug it into that fuel rail. You'll hear it click, and then you can close that keeper that's on our harness. And then we're going to plug the other end of our harness into the truck's harness. These are keyed, so they'll only go together one way. Again, you'll hear it click, and then you want to close that keeper so that you can make sure that that connector is not going to come undone. Now we can move over to our data link, which is this 3-prong connector here, right below your power steering reservoir. All right, so we've repositioned right here our power steering reservoir. Right below it, this wiring harness right here with this T in it, you'll see two connectors, wires coming out of it. The data link connector is this one wire that comes over and wraps directly below that reservoir. You'll find that it's zip tied to this main harness here. So we just need to pull that harness out of that zip tie, and you'll find that data link connector right here. Now there will be a rubber cap in the end of this connector. Just need to pull that cap out, and we'll make our other connection right here. All right, so we've made that data link connection right there. The rest of our harness is going to route over and mount right here on the fuse panel. We've got our battery 12-volt source that we're going to connect here, and then we can plug it in and move on to the app. All right, now we're going to remove this cover off the battery, depress tab on the front and the back, set that aside, and we're going to get our 12-volt source from this. There's 3 main terminals here that have wires coming off of them. It's actually labeled on the connector 3. Again, we're using that 10mm socket. Loosen up that nut. flip the new easy module terminal over it, put our nut back on, tighten it up, and we can place that cap back over and lock it in place, just like that. All right, our final step will be to plug our easy module into the harness. It'll only go one way, you'll hear it click. We've supplied some double-side tape that'll allow you to connect it right here on the fuse box. Attach it there. And with that done, we can zip tie these wires, make sure they're not around anything hot or moving, and reconnect our batteries, and then we can turn the key on and link our app. Ignition on without starting the engine. And then we're going to open up our Easy app that you can download from your app store, whether you use an iPhone or a Google phone. You can get that app in the app store. We also have a QR code in our instruction manual that'll link you to those apps downloads. Once you download that app, you're going to open it up and it's going to try and sync with your module for the first time. So you can see here that the app is trying to locate the serial number on our device. Now that it's connected, it's going to want to ask and make sure that our device is up to date. So it's checking the firmware. It's going to connect to our server. And then we're able to determine whether or not you've got the most up-to-date firmware and software for both the app and the module. Only take a few minutes here. If you have not connected to our update server before, it's going to ask you to create an account here where you can input email address, contact info. So we're going to do that now. And once that's complete, we can go ahead and get back here where it will connect. This one shows that the module does need to have some updates done to it. So we're going to select OK. And now the app is asking us to turn off our ignition, and then we'll select yes to continue. So we're going to go ahead and go back to the cab and turn our ignition off, and then bring our app back over here to the module where it will perform the required firmware updates. Now the app is going to tell you that this could take up to 30 minutes. That's not normally the case. Usually this will happen in just a matter of 4 to 5 minutes. It depends on how out of date the device is and how much needs to be sent. But we'll set this here and walk away. After the update's completed, we're going to turn the ignition back on and reopen that app, and it's going to go ahead and search for the module again and connect. Once we had made that initial connection to the module under the hood, we can now make connections with the app from in the cab at any time. So we can go right to this power level screen here. Now this is the main screen of the app where we can control what power level the module is in. So we can roll from stock all the way up to our level 5 tune that'll add upwards of 110 horsepower and 280 foot-pound of torque. This is shift on the fly tuning, so you can change these power levels while you're driving in the cab with the smartphone app open. A couple of things to note. The 5 different power levels, we have the power gains listed there on the power level tile. So you can see that level 1, level 2, level 3, you can see the different horsepower and torque ratings that you'll have above stock in each of those power levels. In our testing, we did a lot of daily driving and towing in all of the performance levels. We did a lot of obviously our performance data testing in level 5 with the max power output. We even towed in level 5. As long as you can keep an eye on your engine data, EGTs, soot accumulation, regen status, that kind of stuff. Keep an eye on temps. We had good success towing in level 5. That's not something we always recommend, but if you have something like our Insight CTS3, so you can keep an eye on that data, obviously you can use these power levels at your discretion. The other thing to note is that the ZF8 speed is going to take some time to learn the added power and torque. So if you're the kind of guy that puts it right into level 5 after you install it, just know that for the first couple of days you're going to really notice some defuel on the shifts. That will get better as you drive it. As the transmission learns the added power and torque, that defuel won't be as noticeable through the gears. And as you continue to drive it, it's going to get smarter and drive even better. So we've had really good results with this module installed. Transmission is taking the power, and we've been really pleased with this new combo, and we think you guys are really going to like it as well.